Now, the Consumer Law Hour with Eddie and Chuck Farah.
Good afternoon, Jacksonville. You are listening to the Consumer Law Hour on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk. 855-765-1045 is the number to call if you want to speak to our legal experts, Eddie Farah and Chuck Farah from the law firm of Farah and Farah, waiting to take your calls and give you some guidance to help you through your legal questions. Again, 855-765-1045. That puts you in touch with the fellas. Scott here, taking those calls and getting you in touch with the guys. Fellas, what's going on? How are you today?
Hey, Scott.
Hey, Scott. Thanks for helping us out.
Always a pleasure to be a part of the show, man.
Yeah, man. I like to use examples of cases that we have in the office because you learn it's easier to understand the legal principles when you got a case that kind of goes along with it. And there was a case we had this week we've been working on where a lady was in an automobile accident and the car came into her lane of travel and ran into the passenger side of the vehicle. And our client was in her lane and the other car came in and just hit her. And what happened was the officer came to the scene, conducted an investigation, filled out an accident report, gave the other driver the ticket. Okay. So the other driver was at fault. And that was the end of it. So the client at that time did not hire a lawyer. I mean, we know Florida has a very long statute of limitations. Technically in Florida, you have 4 years to file your lawsuit in an automobile accident. In Georgia, it's 2 years. So she thought she had time. She goes, well, what do I need to do right now? He got the ticket. Let me see how things play out. I'm not going to hire a lawyer immediately. I'm going to kind of let things go, see how I heal up and see what goes on. And I'm feeling kind of, her neck was hurting, her back. But she goes, hey, I'll just kind of play it by ear. I'll see the doctor and I'll worry about this case later. I got things going on with my life. I don't want to go see a lawyer and deal with all that right now. So, because she said, I got everything's locked down. Well, what happens is a few months go by, and then she hires us and, we file a lawsuit shortly thereafter. And lo and behold, the response from the insurance company's lawyer is that they didn't cause the accident. That it was not their fault. That our client came into their lane and hit them. Okay. So, we call the client, tell them we got to, there's an investigation that needs to be done. We need to try to track down the witnesses because now they're claiming that they didn't cause the accident. Well, the client goes, well, they got the ticket. He gave the other driver a ticket for careless driving. And what people don't realize is that there's a privilege in Florida called the accident report privilege. Whatever you tell the police officer, whatever the police officer puts in the accident report, he could say, Eddie Farah came over and said, yes, I ran the red light. Not admissible in court. It's hearsay. Anything in the accident report is not admissible. You can't take the accident report to court and say, Your Honor, this person received the ticket from the officer. He's at fault. The ticket is not admissible. The fact that you got a ticket, the fact that you did not receive a ticket is not admissible. So if someone's suing you and you say, well, the officer didn't give me a ticket, how can I be at fault? You cannot go to court and say the officer did not give me a ticket. So none of that is admissible in a court of law. And the reason why it's not admissible is because there's a rule in Florida called the accident report privilege. Anything you tell the police officer, anything he puts in there is not admissible. And the reason why they have it is they want a free flow of information. The state wants data. The state wants to know, are the roads being made safer? And the way they do that is they allow people to say whatever they want to say without any kind of repercussion.
Yeah, the lawsuit or the following legal proceedings aren't considered when they create a rule like that.
Yeah, because they want data. They want to know. They want people to speak freely. Because let me tell you, if you knew that whatever you said at the accident scene could be used against you, you probably could keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, you wouldn't say anything.
You wouldn't say anything. Officer says, hey, who did this? Did you turn there? Did you have a red light? Who had a red light? Did you see?
There'd be a whole lot of silence and a whole lot of finger pointing.
Yeah, exactly. So if everybody, right. So, but because of the privilege, now, if the officer, let's say maybe there's some drinking involved And then the officer says, well, listen, I've conducted my accident investigation. I'm now moving on to a DUI investigation, which is a criminal situation. Then you want to keep quiet, if you've been drinking.
Right.
That's when you want to stop talking, because now he's
moved into the criminal
phase.
Side of it.
Yeah, and then it can be used against you, but not in a civil, not in a typical traffic accident. So the moral to that story is, even though you have 4 years to file a lawsuit, and even though the other person received the ticket, you've got to call a law firm that handles personal injury cases, because really, this case, we would have loved to have gotten it at the beginning. Because why? Because if that other side, even though they received the ticket, if we had gone to the scene of the accident, we would have seen the debris in our client's lane of travel, which means the accident probably happened in our lane of travel, which would have vindicated our client. But when you wait months, the debris is gone, the skid marks are gone, the physical evidence is gone. And that's what you got to really have. You kind of have to prove. Everybody says, well, they ran the red light, or they swerved into my lane, or failed to yield. Well, yeah, the ticket is not admissible. You can't go to the court and say, Judge, Mr. Smith got the ticket. I want justice, or I want to be paid for my lost wages or whatever.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I remember back in law school when you could figure out the logic behind a certain rule or principle. It always made sense and easier to understand. And typically, when it comes to evidence rules that we deal with day in and day out in court, there's some sort of logic behind why certain things are admissible and others aren't.
Yeah, but these are not lawyers. They're dealing with, I know. I got this accident report that shows how the accident happened. There's a diagram on it. It shows he ran into my lane. The other guy receives a ticket. I'm good to go. But you're not good to go, and that's typically the law in most states. So anyway, the rule is, the moral is, talk to a lawyer if you've been involved, and even if everything's going your way. And also the thing about
there's comparative negligence also. That you may think you were responsible, but the other party was also responsible. So there's a division of fault there that in Florida you can still pursue a claim, even though you were partially responsible for causing the accident.
Right.
And that's something a lot of people just don't know about. They think, well, I ran, I crossed on a yellow blinking light, where I should have yielded. A lot of times we'll make recoveries because the opposing car, was speeding.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's a 50-50, you can still make a recovery in Florida.
Sure.
In Georgia, if you're over 50%, you get nothing.
Right.
Florida's got a very nice liberal, consumer friendly, comparative negligence where you can collect money. I mean, you could be 99% at fault, and you just get 1% of your injury damages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but
fellas, we've got our first caller of the day. We've got Tim from the West Side. He's on the line, and he's got a question about some hail insurance and an insurance claim recently on his roof. Tim, you're on the Consumer Law Hour with Farah and Farah.
Hey, Tim.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
Hey, Eddie. Hey, we had a storm come through on August 4th in our neighborhood. It was a hailstorm, and it damaged several roofs in our area. And I claimed with the insurance company, and they're trying to claim that it was part of the Isaias, I guess that's how you say it, the hurricane that passed by us. It was way up in Virginia when this storm happened, and it was just a local storm. And I was just wondering, there was something in the policy that said 72 hours after the last watch warning for the state of Florida, the hurricane deduction is effective.
Yeah, they've got that percentage deductible.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, we handle those cases, Tim, and we have a lawyer in our office that's very experienced in these type of issues. If you want to leave your phone number with Scott, we'll be in phone contact on Monday.
Yeah, because I'd rather not talk about the details.
Yeah.
Over the air. So,
but yeah, I mean, you're right. You brought up a good point, just so our listeners are aware what's happening to Tim. And Tim, tell me if I'm right, wrong about this. Mm-hmm. But if they want to try to blame it on a hurricane because there's a hurricane deductible, right? You got like a certain percentage. Yeah, that's what they're trying to escape. I mean, they're trying to escape responsibility. That hurricane was nowhere near here.
I don't even know that. Did we ever have a warning or a watch from that? It was like
Florida did, I think.
We had the warning. We didn't have the, or we had the watch, whatever one is the lesser of evils.
Yeah, I tell you that.
We were in no imminent danger from it.
See, Tim, what these insurance companies have
You got
done.
to look at your policy too to see how all that's.
They've gotten they're getting real cute. What they've done is they know that the most prevalent damage is a roof. Okay, like yours, and they know that a roof, if you have like a 3 or 4% deductible, whatever it is, you know, if your house is worth $300,000 and 3% of that is, you know, whatever it is, 6,000, whatever it is, then they know that covers the roof, and then they're not going to have to pay for it. So they've gotten the sweet spot. They make the deductible large enough to where you have to pay for the roof. You know,
Yeah.
because that's most of the claims. That's how they've crunched the numbers. That's what happened to you. But there's hopefully
There's several in the area. That some of them, you know, got the regular $1,000 deductible, but then others got the hurricane deductible.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we'd like to talk to you more about it on Monday.
okay.
I appreciate
Well,
it.
I'll tell him more off the air.
Yeah.
All right, Tim, if you'll stay on the line,
we'll
I'll
get
you
into that
details
on
in
Monday.
just a second.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Tim. Thanks for calling in.
Guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with the second part of the Consumer Law Hour after these messages on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Jacksonville's morning news with Rich Jones. Weather and traffic every 6 minutes. And the 3 big things you need to know. Whether you're heading back to the office or staying home a little longer, no matter what your plans are, start your day with us from 5 till 9 a.m. Only on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
This is Eddie Farah of Farah and Farah. Over the years, you've seen and heard a lot from me on TV and radio.
And I'm Chuck Farah. You've seen a good deal of me, too.
Together, we've been offering valuable information about how you can protect yourself when you've been injured.
We've warned you about people who may try to take advantage of you.
And we've offered free consultations to answer questions you may have. We hope this information's been helpful because it's been our pleasure bringing it to you for so many years.
To offer even more help, our website, farandfarah.com, has a wealth of practical information about a wide range of situations that may affect you.
From automobile accidents and medical malpractice to products liability and nursing home abuse, we've worked hard to give you the facts you need to know if you find yourself in a difficult situation.
Whether you hire us someday or not, we think it's important to keep you informed because to us, it's all about helping people.
If we can help you, visit farandfarah.com or call 396-5555 today. Office Jacksonville.
Ready for a positive 2020 surprise? Here's one from Diamonds Direct. The return of our best offer ever. 5 years, 0 interest financing. Yes! Starting Monday the 31st, backed by popular demand. Pick any item. Get the amazing value price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. And you can even finance the sales tax. Fine jewelry has never been more affordable. 5 years, 0 interest on anything and everything starting September 1st at Diamonds Direct. On approved credit. Details, directions, and store hours at diamondsdirect.com.
Over half of all men suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rubinsky. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom and Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call 904-217-5646. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. 904-217-5646.
You have been wanting a new ride. You've been waiting for the right time to strike. Now is the time. Every quality pre-owned car, truck, and SUV and van has been marked way down for you to drive home today. When you buy from Arlington Toyota, it's Rich Jones. You've got to check out Arlington's lot on Atlantic, just east of the East Beltway. Over 750 new and quality pre-owned every day. One waiting for you to drive home. Domestics, luxury vehicles, imports, Toyota certified pre-owned, all priced low and ready to sell at Arlington Toyota. Worried about your credit? You don't have to be, because with Arlington's Credit for Everyone program, if your Beacon score is from 450 to 850, Arlington's getting almost everyone approved. And when it comes to total peace of mind, Arlington has got you covered. Their 30-day exchange policy, 30 days to love it or exchange it. There's nothing really to wait for. All pre-owned is on sale right now at Arlington Toyota, 10939 Atlantic Boulevard and arlingtontoyota.com.
I never knew my home would become my workplace. I never dreamed it would be my child's school, and I never imagined my home would be under attack from an invisible enemy called COVID-19. This is why I trust SafeTouch Security. It's one app that puts me in control. My SafeTouch system allows me to control who's on my property, movement while the kids are at home learning their school lessons, who I speak with without even opening the front door, as well as home deliveries, my heating and air conditioning, door locks, and complete protection against the threats of fire, burglary, and assault. You know, you can even have control over your car. Know you are safe with the most up-to-date security system from SafeTouch. SafeTouch Security has been doing what others can't for over 35 years. Reliable local monitoring. No other company comes close to SafeTouch's track record on guaranteed response times. Go to safetouch.com and find out how you can get zero down and free equipment with a lifetime warranty. That's safetouch.com. State license number EF0000233.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
A 6 on the WOKV weather meter. Humid today with showers and thunderstorms developing. Some heavy rain at times. Highs in the upper 80s, but it'll be cooler during some of that rainfall. Mostly cloudy, muggy tonight in the 70s. Partly to mostly cloudy more. Showers and scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. Your Sunday high 88. And then Monday through Wednesday will be partly sunny with scattered midday and afternoon showers and thunderstorms and highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. With the First Alert Forecast, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for 104.5 WOKV.
Jacksonville, we're back on the Consumer Law Hour. 855-765-1045, the number to call. 855-765-1045. That gets you in touch with our legal experts, Eddie Farah and Chuck Farah from the law firm of Farah and Farah. Fellas, we're back. Looks like you'll be talking to Tim about that insurance claim, and hopefully we'll be able to get him some help.
Yeah, once we talk to Tim, and because, we are in the storm season, I kind of want to find out what's going on and then come back and report maybe in a couple of weeks so people can be aware of what they're trying to do out there. So that way we can share the information of their conniving tactics,
Once again, it's the consumers versus the insurance company.
Hey, come on. I'm trying to make it fun here, Scott.
Absolutely, man.
Don't go dead on me. Don't go silent on me, Okay.
Well, I'd push the mic off button for just a second.
You don't have to be politically correct on this show, Scott. Anything goes. You know that.
No worries on that.
But anyway, okay. Talking about the things we really, I'm going to get into, we've talked about how an accident happens and all the accident report stuff. But another issue that comes up a lot is that people are in accidents and they're injured and they go to their family doctor. They go to the guy they go to for, they have a cold or a flu or, their stomach hurts them or whatever. And that's another big mistake. I mean, even though it's a person that you've dealt with for years, I got a family doctor on my primary care, but believe me, if I'm in an accident, I'm not going to them because they are not familiar with what needs to be in the medical records. Because insurance companies, if it's not in the medical record, they ain't going to pay you. I don't care if your lawyer calls the insurance company every day and says, Mr. Insurance Adjuster, my client, Mrs. Smith, can't get out of bed today to go to work. Her back is killing her. It means nothing to the insurance company. If it's not properly documented in the medical records, you will not be considered for that. And a lot of these primary care doctors, we've seen it time and time again, are not familiar with how the documentation needs to be made.
Now, does that require specific language to be used, certain terminology or certain not really diagnostic coding or something like that?
Some of it is that. Some of it is there's an AMA guidelines to impairment, the American Medical Association. There's a set of guidelines that determines your impairment, your disability. Doctors are not all familiar with those guidelines, and that's what the insurance company is looking at. They go by guidelines. I mean, this is not just some subjective, oh, your back's hurting you, let me give you some money. Everything's got to be documented according to the guidelines. And if it's not in there, they're not going to give it any consideration. And most primary care family doctors don't know it. That's why you got to go to a specialist. In this case, we had a lady that went to her family doctor, and she had, he did not properly document the file. He did not take a good history. He did not ask the right questions about what's bothering you, and how long it's lasted, and how's the pain, what causes the pain to increase, what causes the pain to decrease. I mean, there was a lot of questions, a lot of documentation that was not in the file, And Chuck, you can probably talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I know that a regular practice in our firm is having face-to-face meetings with these primary care physicians or other doctors that have treated the client, because the doctors, listen, they're busy. They see a lot of patients. They're not really focusing in on, our particular client, their patient, and how their current symptoms and problems are related to an automobile accident or a slip and fall or some other incident. So, sometimes, a lot of times we set up appointments with these doctors. We sit down with them. We go over the history with the doctor, and, we go through the symptoms, and we even talk about the incident itself, the crash or the fall, so that the doctor has a full view of what happened to this person, so that they can then reach a conclusion one way or another, whether the current problems are related to the incident, because they're not thinking that way right off the bat. It really takes time outside their regular day, and we typically meet these doctors in the evenings or early in the morning before they start their day, and we sit down with them and we go through the history, and we try to make sure that they are aware. Yeah,
these doctors, the regular doctors are not familiar with the legal they're not involved in litigation. They're not testifying like a lot of these specialists are, and they're not looking at a lawsuit, so they're not properly thinking about, like, maybe the client comes in and complains of back pain, but he doesn't write it down for 3 or 4 visits, and all of a sudden he starts writing it down. The insurance going, wait a minute, she came in for a whole month and never complained of back pain. Now she's complaining of back pain, and how do you know she was in the accident? Maybe she fell at home or something.
Right, and he may not be privy to the emergency room record where he went in right after the accident, complained of back pain, then there was a gap, and then there was a complaint. So listen, it's not a cookie cutter. We're all individuals, and you have to look at the whole picture.
Exactly, and that's why, again, even though you have 4 years, you want to talk to a lawyer, because a lawyer can help a personal injury lawyer like ourselves. We do it, and most personal injury firms do it too. Help direct you to the doctor that knows how to treat the injury that you're complaining about.
Right,
and that's very important.
It also helps to have a consistent record with continuity of care and all the particular details and the evolutions of any kind of complaints if things get severe, if they become more complicated. Just to have all that information consolidated in one place.
Scott, you sound like a lawyer, man.
You're hired, man. When do you start? When can you start?
Don't tease me with a good time. Fellas, we're going to take another quick break, and we will check in with some updates from Fox News, local weather and traffic, and we'll be back with the second half of the Consumer Law Hour after these quick messages on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Gone are the days when you have to sit by a radio to hear WOKV. Listen whenever and wherever you want. Get the WOKV app for your Apple or Android device so you can take us on the go. 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Are you suffering from shoulder?
Fox News, I'm Karen McHugh. New details surrounding the fatal shooting at a Kenosha riot, allegedly by a teenage boy from out of state.
Attorneys for 17-year-old Kyle Rittenhouse, who allegedly shot 3 people, killing 2, tell Fox News that video of the incident clearly shows Rittenhouse was acting in self-defense. Video shows Rittenhouse running from a group of protesters minutes after fatally shooting a 36-year-old man who allegedly tried to take away his gun.
Fox's Garrett Tenney, the Kenosha County Sheriff, says Rittenhouse's actions just made a bad situation worse. Critical of President Trump's handling of the pandemic, the Biden campaign releases a new ad.
Even though Joe Biden has pledged to shut the whole country down again, if that's what scientists suggest, he's trying to get football fans to blame Trump's actions so far for some canceled tailgates in the months ahead. It's not clear how effective this will be. However, some of the biggest college football schools are in swing states.
Fox's Peter Ducey. America is listening to Fox News.
This is 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Hi, my name is Connor. I live at the Rhoda Boys Ranch with about 50 other boys. We come to the ranch because we can't live at home or we just don't have one.
Rhoda Boys Ranch doesn't receive any government support for childcare and raises funds by auctioning off donated vehicles every month. If you have a boat, car, motorcycle, RV, truck, or tractor in any condition, Google Boys Ranch Palatka to donate. If you don't have a vehicle, cash donations are accepted. Google Boys Ranch Palatka.
Remember, it's better to build boys than to mend men.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, Waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Hi, it's Brian Kilmeade for Phil Aiken Home Team Keller Williams Realty. I'm talking with Greg and Gary about their recent home sale. Why did you call Phil Aiken?
We called Phil Aiken because we had heard that his team will sell your house quickly and for more money than any of the other realtors in town.
Tell us what happened.
Phil Aiken and his A team, they will make the process very easy. Sold in 4 days and got over asking price.
Well, that's great. So how did you think they were able to sell it so fast?
Because Phil has the buyers and they have the team that can get the job done quickly and stress-free.
What would you tell a friend who is looking for a real estate agent to sell their home?
Would I recommend Phil Aiken and the A team? Absolutely.
Well, the results speak for themselves, right? Phil Aiken and his team have the systems and will even guarantee to sell your home in writing or buy it himself.
Yes, we got better results than we expected.
Thanks, Gary. Friends, hire the agent with the buyers looking to buy a home right now. Call Phil Aiken. Call 500-PHIL. That's 500-PHIL, or visit philhasthebuyers.com.
As a woman, you've spent years taking care of everyone else, and now you're nearing retirement, or maybe you're already retired. This time, it's your turn. You get to make choices for you. Will your retirement be filled with travel, time with your grandchildren, and days spent reading or painting or laughing with friends? It's your retirement. You get to write the script. Jeanette Bajalia and her team at Woman's Worth specialize in helping women plan for the rest of their lives. They want those years to be the best of your life. At Woman's Worth, it's more than the money. It's about total well-being. Your emotional, physical, spiritual, and financial well-being is what makes the rest of your life the best of your life. Call Woman's Worth today at 800-366-8022 and make an appointment to start planning for your retirement. Call 800-366-8022 right now. It's your turn now, and you deserve it. Call Woman's Worth at 800-366-8022. Investment management services recommended by Petros Advisory Services, LLC, a registered investment advisor headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida.
Now, the WOKV First Alert Forecast.
Keep an eye to the skies today as we'll have on and off showers and thunderstorms with heavy rain at times and humid with highs in the upper 80s. Mostly cloudy tonight in the mid 70s and partly to mostly cloudy with showers and scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. Your Sunday high in the upper 80s. Monday partly sunny, scattered midday and afternoon showers and thunderstorms as the wet weather pattern continues and a high of 89. And partly sunny for Tuesday and Wednesday with still afternoon showers and thunderstorms and highs around 90. From the First Alert Weather Center, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for 104.5 WOKV.
The following hour was paid for by the host and does not reflect the opinion of 104.5 WOKV or Cox Media Group.
Jacksonville, we are back on the Consumer Law Hour, 855-765-1045, the number to call. If you want to speak with our legal experts, Eddie Farah, Chuck Farah from the law firm of Farah and Farah, the Legal Hour sponsors. Happy to take your calls right now. Again, 855-765-1045. I've got Rich over in Fruit Cove who's been waiting for a little while to talk about a small claims court case. Rich, you're on the Consumer Law Hour with Farah and Farah.
Great.
Hey, Rich.
I've been working this Clay County fiasco for a couple of years. I represent myself. Basically, what happened was I got a small claims judgment against me, and I couldn't believe the judgment was nothing but falsehoods. The bullets that the judge had referred to, like he didn't, go over my evidence before he wrote it up. And come to find out that I did an appeal to a second judge in Clay County, and they shot me down for the same reason. And then I started looking into it, and I found out that the evidence that I presented to the small claims judge was not entered into evidence. So, in essence, I don't think the small claims court judge initially had this stuff, and he just made it up. And secondly, since the appeals judge didn't have the evidence to look at to make a judgment, he because I didn't have my evidence, shouldn't I have another shot at this?
Be very different. Okay.
I went ahead to the First District Court of Appeals.
First DCA.
And I
Okay.
played around for about 9 months, jumping through hoops and preparing the format, just getting the format right, and I wrote up a writ of certiorari.
Certiorari, yeah. Okay.
Something was amiss, and they didn't.
Right.
They didn't do anything about it.
Did the other side have a lawyer?
I'm back with.
Yeah.
I'm a retired school teacher.
Right.
And I'm handling things. This
Okay,
is
I got
way
it.
Past the $4,000 number that I'm arguing about, and
so they added cost to it.
But I just want my day in court.
Yeah. Well, you didn't you have your day in court in county court?
In the small claims court, but it turns out the evidence wasn't posted into
did the judge
court records until after the appeal judge ruled.
Okay, so the judge did not admit your evidence or did not consider your evidence. Is that correct? What you put?
Oh no, he accepted my evidence. They just lost it.
What do you mean they lost it?
And
what do you mean they lost it?
Somewhere from when I handed the small claims court judge my evidence, I was the only one to present any evidence. I gave it to him, and they're supposed to have it posted. And here's a kicker in all of this: it took 47 days for the small claims court judge to come up with a judgment.
Yeah, that's not uncommon. They got
promised 3 to 5 days.
Yeah, but they got a lot. They're busy. They got a lot of cases, and they're probably writing up judgments for who knows how many cases. But the thing is, if the evidence now, if he did not, he let the evidence in. If the evidence was lost, you could supplement the record with copies of the evidence. You could have gone back and on the appeal level, because you appealed it and said the judge did not consider this evidence. Here's another. Here he lost it or whatever happened. Here's the evidence now. Here's another copy of it. I mean, I don't know if that's I mean, he may have considered the evidence and just lost it, but still considered it. And the problem is you're having right now is interest is on the judgment, right? Did he add attorney's fees and cost onto it? Hello?
Did I?
The judge. Did he add attorney's fees?
No. I've been running this
but
myself.
But did the other side have a lawyer?
No.
The other side didn't have a lawyer. Okay.
He didn't have anything to present. I had emails.
Right.
The contract, his contract said that, he had to have the job done in 9 weeks. I was having surgery, and he was supposed to come up with two estimates, and he never came up with those. And what I did wrong was pay him up front.
Yeah.
And the biggest lesson is don't.
Right.
Make sure that you got something over his head, or all he did was just drag his feet from then on out. He already had his money, and
would he end up suing you for the balance? Is that what happened?
No. I gave him the whole $4,000 up front.
Well, then why
he was supposed to be a subcontractor?
What's the judgment about then?
Well, it was I was going to need a an engineer. I was doing some structural work, and that I needed an okay. I needed some drawings that were acceptable to the county.
I
And,
got you. But
that was what it was all about. And I had all these emails, him putting me off, and I just I even went to the state Supreme Court, which was a total waste of time. They didn't.
Yeah. You got to go through the DCA first.
They took my money, my $300, and said, "We don't do these."
Yeah, but you have to have jurisdiction.
That was a $300 lesson.
Well, they do it, but you got to invoke their jurisdiction. I mean, you just can't. You don't have an automatic right to go to the Supreme Court. They have to accept your case. It's got to be it has to be a case where there's a constitutional issue, or maybe there's a difference in rulings around the state and they want to clarify an area of the law, but you're not entitled to automatically appeal your case to the Florida Supreme Court.
Yeah.
So you had a right to do it from county to circuit court, which you did. You lost at the circuit court level, and now you're going to appeal to the to the Supreme Court. I mean, to the first DCA. That's your next step. But the problem is right now in that judgment of $4,000, there's interest being accumulated on that. And if the guy who has the judgment wants to get, serious about it, they can come execute on your property. He can make you come in for a deposition, ask you to bring your tax returns, a financial affidavit, proof of all the money you have or whatever you've got, because he's entitled to go after that right now. That's where he is. Huh? Pardon?
I don't understand. He took my money.
Oh,
did not fulfill his agreement.
Well, who has the judgment? Who has the judgment?
The judgment was against me.
Okay,
I had all the ducks lined up. This is a total fabrication.
Well, but I'm trying to tell you, he's got the judgment. He can do what I just said, because according to that judgment, you owe him $4,000.
No, I already paid him.
Oh, you paid him. Okay, so that's over.
That's what I said.
Did you get a satisfaction of judgment from him?
The mistake was paying him up front.
But so the judgment's no longer valid. What were you trying to do? Get your $4,000
He was trying
back?
to get it back, and so he brought the case.
I was trying to.
This other person won. He defended the case and won.
And then,
I guess he performed the service,
and he didn't have a leg to stand on.
Yeah,
but okay.
So they took the evidence, they weighed it. You lost. You were not able to get your $4,000 back.
Right.
And
So okay, I don't know if it's worth it for what you've gone through and what you're going. I mean, I don't think you have any recourse at this point. I think you've exhausted your remedies. You've gone through to the first
but
DCA.
I didn't get my day in court.
Well, you had your day in court in county court.
The appeals judge never saw the evidence before he made a judgment.
Well, I think it may be too late for it. How long ago did this happen?
In court records.
Was there a court reporter at the trial level?
There's no
court reporter.
People just writing down stuff. Yeah.
Mano. My wife was.
Yeah, you could have ordered.
You could have ordered a court reporter.
You probably should have had a court reporter there writing everything down. But that's water under the bridge now. So, and people don't want to do that because a court reporter is probably a couple of $100 just to have them there. Then you got to order the transcript. It costs a couple of $1,000, depending how long the hearing goes. But so I think you did. I mean, I don't know what your recourse is right now, Rich. It may be just to let it go. I mean, I know maybe you've got a lot of time on your hands, and I just don't know where you can go from here. If you've gone to the first DCA and you've got no help, I think it's over.
Yeah. Well, it's really a travesty of justice where I never. Okay, but why should I and the first district agreed with me. I just have to, I guess, go through. They did give me an option. I made a motion that why should I pay for this appeal that was rendered against me when the judge didn't have the evidence. The evidence wasn't entered into the court records until after he made his judgment. I, according to the first district, I will be able to approach the court and get my court fee reinstated, given back to me. So that's what's left. I've got Miss Green, the clerk of the courts.
Yeah.
I got her involved, and she said she's going to be back with me in a couple of weeks. Haven't heard from her.
Yeah. Well, good luck on that. The lesson of that case is to have, sometimes have a court reporter there, and at least consult with a lawyer. I mean, you could have gone. I know it's probably not worth it to go hire somebody to be there with you, but you could have consulted with a lawyer. He would have told you how to handle that small claims action. But we appreciate the phone call. And good luck.
Thank you now.
Yeah,
Have
man.
a good one.
Good luck, Rich.
Bye-bye.
Well, they can't all be winners, Rich, and I'm sorry your court case didn't go your way that particular occasion. We got to take another quick break, and we'll be back with our final segment of the Consumer Law Hour after these quick messages on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Sometimes the news can be confusing. We don't just tell you the news, we help you understand the news. Every morning with more depth and detail on Jacksonville's Morning News with Rich Jones on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.
Hello, I'm Eddie Farah. After more than 35 years of practice,
so it sounded like he had a hard time with the word no,
that are absolutely crucial to personal injury law. We deal with serious, often permanent, life-changing injuries. And of course, we deal with real tragedy and families that have just lost a family member through the carelessness of another party. Over the years, this is what has really shaped our culture of empathy, compassion, and respect for every person who comes in for a consultation. They come in feeling like they have no power. They feel alone. We start out by explaining what the law provides, like lost wages and future medical payments. You can see the change in a client when they start to realize that they're not alone. They have power. Their story will be heard. Their quality of life and their dignity can be restored. Our philosophy of compassion and respect is something you'll feel because it's not just a philosophy. It's who we are. Farah and Farah, protecting you and your family. Call us at 396-5555. Jacksonville.
I'm here to tell you some great news. You know that new Toyota you have been wanting? It's as good as yours thanks to the huge savings happening now at Arlington Toyota. It's Rich Jones, and I'm talking every new Toyota Arlington's got is on sale. You get 0% for 60 months on 10 new Toyota models on Atlantic just east of the East Beltway. Looking to drive away in a new Toyota with no payments? Sign me up. Right now at Arlington, you can get no payments for 90 days on your new Toyota purchase. Every single day at Arlington, you're going to have over 750 new and quality pre-owned on the lot, ready for you to drive home. With every new vehicle purchase from Arlington, you get a nationwide lifetime warranty with unlimited time and miles. Plus, you can buy with total peace of mind thanks to Arlington's 30-day exchange policy, 30 days to love it or exchange it. Wait no more. It's time to get your new Toyota and save big at Arlington Toyota. 10939 Atlantic Boulevard. Visit arlingtontoyota.com/August savings for full details.
If you're curious about who may be out there but don't want to jump into anything right away, then take a fun step and just take a look at Our Time. Our Time is the #1 dating site for singles over 50. It's easy to use and can help you find a partner to share in a new activity you've been wanting to try. Take a walk or just meet someone new. Check it out. Start for free today. Go to ourtime.com. That's ourtime.com. Start for free at ourtime.com.
Few know Kamala Harris's radical record with her attacks on gun rights and religious freedom, her backing of socialist programs, abortion, and the cancel culture. Newsmax TV's new primetime show with Grant Stinchfield exposes Kamala Harris. Tune into Stinchfield at 8 p.m. Eastern tonight. Find Newsmax TV on major cable systems or get Newsmax free on Roku, YouTube, Xumo, Pluto, Apple TV, Chromecast, Amazon Fire, smart TVs, and more. You can even download the free Newsmax TV app from your phone and start watching now.
Over half of all men suffer from ED or PE. Here's a message from Prime Men's Medical Center.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rubinsky. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom and Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications. Men are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer, and it's affordable.
Call 904-217-5646. See results on your first visit guaranteed or pay nothing. 904-217-5646.
Don't let your holiday weekend bite. Rid your yard of mosquitoes and no-see-ums this Labor Day with expert mosquito control from Turner Pest Control. Now through Labor Day, get your first mosquito treatment free when you sign up for monthly service. We even have one-time service to keep mosquitoes and no-see-ums away for your special outdoor event. Take your yard back and get in touch for a free estimate now. Learn more at turnerpest.com.
The WOKV First Alert Forecast.
A 6 on the WOKV weather meter. Humid today with showers and thunderstorms developing. Some heavy rain at times. Highs in the upper 80s, but it'll be cooler during some of that rainfall. Mostly cloudy, muggy tonight in the 70s. Partly to mostly cloudy, more showers and scattered thunderstorms tomorrow. Your Sunday high 88. And then Monday through Wednesday will be partly sunny with scattered midday and afternoon showers and thunderstorms and highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. With the First Alert Forecast, I'm Action News Jax Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish for 104.5 WOKV.
We tell you the 3 big things you need to know every 15 minutes, all day. And when you're not listening to the radio, get them on WOKV.com or in the WOKV app. The 3 big things you need to know. Powered by Safe Touch Security. 104.5 WOKV. Jacksonville's news and talk.
We're rounding the corner and headed for home in the last segment of the Consumer Law Hour today. 855-765-1045. Your last chance to call if you've got questions and want to get in touch with our legal experts, Eddie Farah and Chuck Farah, waiting on those calls at 855-765-1045.
Yeah, thanks, Scott.
Now with our last caller, now Rich had said he had taken his case up with the District Court of Appeals.
Right, first
and
district.
Judgment didn't go his way on that. Is that the end of the line when you take something to the District Court of Appeals and they say no?
Yeah, right now we're in the Duval Enclaves in the first district. That court sits in Tallahassee. To go to the Florida Supreme Court, you've got to have. I mean, they don't have to accept every case. You can appeal. You can file your notice of appeal to the Supreme Court, but unless it's an issue that they want to handle, like a novel issue they need to rule on, or there's a conflict of rulings throughout the state, or it's a constitutional issue they want to look at, they don't have to accept it. So that's what happened with him, I think. But the thing is,
usually if something is petitioned to the Supreme Court, it's usually in regards to a matter of process, isn't it?
Not necessarily. It could be a substantive issue too. I mean,
I learned.
Yeah, it can be anything. I mean, depending on what the court wants to do. But the thing is, in these small claims, I'll tell you, I know Rich really wasn't happy with the way that turned out, but typically the county court judges, and I used to do county court work. That's really the people's court, county court, because you're dealing with, you don't have to have a lawyer. They've raised the limit now. It used to be $5,000. I think it's $15,000 or $20,000. So there's a lot more cases that they can handle, with bigger number of cases, bigger money cases. But they, typically, and everything I've seen, they do their best to bend over backwards to give everybody a fair shake. The rules are loose in there. The rules of evidence, the rules of procedure. They're not going to use a technicality to throw you out. They're going to let you slide on technicalities because they know you're not a lawyer.
Right.
And so you get typically the judges give you a break. Even if the other side has a lawyer, they're not going to let that lawyer run roughshod over you
they'll
because
give
you don't
a
know
break.
the law.
They'll definitely give
They're going to give
break.
you your day in court. It's the people's court. That's what I call it, and probably a lot of people call it that. So no, I'm sorry it didn't work out for Rich, but most people get benefit from that county court. It's a way you can have your day in court without paying a lot of money to lawyers and so forth. But I want to get back to another issue, because we were talking about medical management and telling your doctors, having the right doctor in an accident. I just want to finish up with why waiting is not a good thing to do when you're in an accident. The third reason is, under your PIP, no fault insurance, you've got $10,000 worth of benefits there. What you can do in Florida is that if you're in an accident and you can't work and you have health insurance, you can use that $10,000 for lost wages. You can reserve it. And you see a lot of commercials on television will say, oh, you got $10,000 of medical benefits. You got to use them in 2 weeks or whatever. You got to see a doctor in 2 weeks. But just as important as that is that you can use that full $10,000 to pay your lost wages if you have health insurance. And what you would do is you would write a letter to your PIP carrier, your auto insurance carrier. Say, look, I've got Blue Cross Blue Shield. They're going to pay my medical bills. Hold my $10,000 for my lost wages because I'm going to be out of work for 3 or 4 weeks. So that's something we do in our office all the time. We represent people because they need their money right now. They're out of work for a month or two. At least they can get paid while they're off of work and from their auto insurance company.
And once again, that's Farah and Farah looking out for you. Guys, I appreciate the opportunity to sit with you for another hour. Looking forward to it again next weekend. 855-765-1045. If you didn't get in today, write that number down and give us a call next week when the Consumer Law Hour returns with Farah and Farah on 104.5 WOKV, Jacksonville's News and Talk.